I'll do the cane just really quick. So again, cane is the same way. You still want it set up at the wrist. So if you're setting it up for someone else and you know that they're taller than you, you would just kind of estimate, you know, a couple extra inches. So if I was setting this up for myself, this would be about right. But if I was setting it up for, you know, somebody who's maybe, I'm 5'4", so if I was setting it up for somebody who's maybe 5'11" or something, I could estimate, okay, that would probably be an appropriate height for them. So when you set up, it has the same, that little push button, just like on the walker. And then this part is important because this is our little safety catch, sort of, and you just turn that, tighten it clockwise. So now you've got your canes, it's the right height. You have a little slight bend to your elbow. There's a few different ways that you can walk with this, but we typically want to put it, say I have like a little issue with my left ankle or something, I'd usually want to hold it in my opposite. Keep it on the ground at the same time as that side that maybe I have a little bit of difficulty with.
Could you all hear that? That vehicle was going by. So you hold it in the opposite hand of the side that you're having difficulty with.
Okay, and then finally the trekking poles. Most trekking poles kind of are about the same. Some of them have a little bit of differences in them, but you're just going to turn counterclockwise to loosen it, and then adjust it to the height that you want, and then turn clockwise to tighten it. And you want to get it, you know, pretty tight, but not, you want it tight enough that when you put some pressure on it, it's not going to kind of slide down on you. So you do want to make sure it's tight enough.
Is it to your wrist?
So this one is not to your wrist. This one is actually a little bit higher. So when you hold a trekking pole, you kind of want it actually a little bit of elbow bend, but in the opposite way, so that it's kind of like here. I don't know exactly what degree that is, but you kind of want it to be up just a little bit. So this one's a little bit too much because you don't want to feel like there's a big crease in your elbow. You don't want to feel like you're like up like this, but you just want it to kind of be slightly bent in the upward direction. And then a lot of these have like little markings so that you can put them to the same thing. So I'm just gonna go with 125.
125, okay, yeah. So same thing, you just twist, pull it, and then twist to lock it into place.
Yep. And then you do want to make sure that you don't pull them out too far. So most of them have this little thing that says like stop or, you know, something like that. Because if you pull it out past that, then you have to try to figure out how to fit it back in there, which isn't always easy. So the other thing, most of them have these little straps on there, which you can actually use. You can put your hand through and then grip on the pole, and you can use that to kind of weight bear a little bit through your wrist or your hand. Particularly maybe if you were like going uphill or kind of just wanted a little bit more stability. And with hiking or with these trekking poles, you're not really leaning into them. They're more for helping you with balance or giving you a little bit of stability, maybe to like step over something. And they work just like how you would swing your arms when you walk. So when we swing our arms, our opposite arm and leg move. So it would be the same thing. So right arm, left leg, right.
It's easier to do it than to verbalize it, isn't it?
Hard to say at the same time while doing it. So, but it's much like the cane where your opposite arm and leg are moving together.
Yeah. And this can be for especially these types of trails and for the ability level of a lot of people here. These can be very useful to help people that don't need the full stability of a walker, but especially when we're on uneven ground, you know, some gravel, the grass, some little potholes. These can be great for helping people maintain their balance while doing that.
And you don't have to use two either. You know, if you just kind of feel like that's too much, it's too much for you to handle, you can just use the other one, just sort of like you would use the cane. So you just kind of have a little bit of extra support there.